Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Gordon Maston here, and I guess we're having a little main roster intervention here, slash Royal Rumble preview. So we're going to talk about the Royal Rumble a little bit here, and we're going to talk about, just the ongoing to the main roster, the mid card, all that good stuff. So I want to start here talking about. I want to quickly go over the injury that recently affected WrestleMania. I'm not going to go over all of them because there are so many, and I'm going to miss a couple. And I didn't really come into this with any notes taken down to really, oh, this guy's injured, how it's going to affect WrestleMania this way. Everything I'm saying right now is off the top of my head and is just natural thought in my true opinion because, as you guys know, I don't review Raw. I really don't review anything much at all these days other than NXT and NXT live specials. And you guys have seen all the gaming on my channel, and I guess like that's kind of a like that's a substitute for me not really reviewing. Like that's my way of having fun. Like you guys can see other stuff I'm into. It's just not reviewing things, and like I feel like that's an outlet. So okay, if we enjoy him personally reviewing things, how about we enjoy him? We enjoy the content creator himself, who plays I don't know Call of Duty here and there, or Madden, or a good dose of NHL. I don't know, but um I'm gonna give you guys what you're here to see, what you see in the subscription box. Oh, we're talking main roster. Okay, well, okay, let's get started here, and I want to start, I guess, with the looking mid card titles. It gets the United States Championship because who would have ever thought at this point that we could actually say the man? Okay, I'm not gonna go as far as to say Alberto Del Rio is entertaining, but he came back from Mexico and from Lucha Underground, and the man learned how to finally get some heat instead of Alberto Del Rio. Silence, 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 silence. No one cares, no reaction. You're the ultimate fear that WWE fears most. You don't get a reaction, so we don't give a shit about you. With that being said, um, I guess we are going to talk about what's the ongoing, what's going on with the not IC, United States Championship lately. And recently on a SmackDown, John Cena uh, basically said he wanted Kalisto to fight Del Rio since he couldn't fight Del Rio in a regular match. And then Kalisto got the win on the, I'm not going to say 100% newly and improved SmackDown, but the last 2 weeks that they actually have said, we want to make SmackDown like a 1A show and have Raw, like, no, 1B, have Raw be 1A, and actually continue, and finish storylines in between the two instead of just practicing stuff for Raw to see if it'll work on this main roster audience so we could actually throw it on Raw and people won't complain about it. Now, that being said, uh, we move on to uh, Kalisto the next week on Raw, and there was a payoff. Well, for at the very moment there was a payoff to the SmackDown match because Kalisto the next week on SmackDown, not on SmackDown on Raw, went on to beat Alberto Del Rio in a match for the United States Championship on Monday Night Raw. I personally popped and marked out for this. I enjoyed it. Now that being said, I want to say this: and Kalisto trying to bring up what guys have done in the U.S. Championship to make it good. Like he brought up guys like I I hate him personally, but I'll give the devil his due. Like Cena, what he did for the U.S. Championship. 2015, the U.S. Championship was semi-entertaining for me. It was even in the main event. Not the main event. Semi-main event. It was actually, yeah, it was in the semi-main event of Night of Champions, and it was in the Cena Rollins match for the championships at SummerSlam. And I guess I could say yes, the United States Championship was entertaining this year, and thanks to Cena, and then he translates it on to Rollins, back to Cena, on to Del Rio. No, I don't think Del Rio gets a championship. Well, that procedure is thrown out the window. The United States Championship is now the new World Heavyweight Championship because Del Rio, when he holds something that's a title, it no longer is held in that I care about. It's not talked about like you actually care about it. Like Del Rio has it. Oh, okay, Del Rio has it, but it's. Uh, I guess I could say Del Rio here doesn't really do much for me. But then losing to Kalisto, and then the way he regained it back after that hard fought match with Kalisto, and Kalisto, not only okay, like this is what happens here. Del Rio on SmackDown the next night invokes his rematch clause, and this would have been last week. And after that, Del Rio from there regains the U.S. Championship because of interference from Bad News King Barrett. And King Barrett, with that, I mean, after he pushes Del Rio out of the way, when Kalisto tries to dive on him, gets Kalisto back in the ring. Del Rio hits the cross armbreaker for the second time after Kalisto got out of it the first time, and then Kalisto taps out. And the newest, most brilliantly, well, how do I put this without sounding illiterate? The best thing going on commentary today on SmackDown, Mauro Ranallo, uh, he just calls everything so great. He had a great line after Kalisto lost the championship. Kalisto's title reign lasting as long as the New Year's resolution. That, my friends, is the truth. But yet, when's the last time you heard Michael Cole say something like that? Personally, just saying. Okay, now let's talk about this. There's going to be a rubber match at the Royal Rumble, and in this rubber match, we're going to get obviously Kalisto Del Rio, and honestly, if you're going to give Del Rio the win here, you you got to do it in the dirtiest of ways. You cannot have him beat Kalisto clean. I don't know if you want to drag this out to WrestleMania. Here's my idea. And this is just the NXT style of booking here that I have in my mind. Like, okay, say Kalisto loses, and you could tell like Del Rio definitely wouldn't have won it if it weren't for League of Nations. Here's what you do: have Kalisto try and get another match the next night on Raw. Del Rio tells him, "No, you little pedo dog, whatever he wants to say. You don't deserve anything. I beat you fair and square, yada yada yada, all that fun, fair jazz." And then let's say they do a battle royal for the championship at Fastlane. Kalisto pulls a Rey Mysterio moment, and smallest man in the battle royal wins it, goes on to WrestleMania to beat Del Rio for the U.S. Championship. Boom, big pop for Kalisto WrestleMania moment, and the kids, the kid's ultimately over. Not like me, like not like oh my god, it's so over. Like you could push him to the main championship, like the world championship now. I mean, like you've solidified yourself a brand new mid card star and someone that people are like people can be invested in. And see, that's the thing with Kalisto. I really want to be invested with Kalisto. I've loved Kalisto since I've seen him as Samurai Del Sol in PWG, and that's the thing. Like Kalisto, just you want to be invested in him because he's so good. But they just they hit the start button and it stopped and start and stop with Kalisto. But recently, this feud with Del Rio has really done something for him. I hate to even say this right now, but Sin Cara getting injured was the best thing that ever happened to Kalisto's career thus far in WWE. Like because yeah, you got the Lucha Dragons, and yeah, they at some point they could have been tag team champions. But as hot as the New Day is, and knowing the Usos are back in the fold, what chance does the Lucha Dragons really have at that? Like really, like honestly, answer me that. What chance did the Lucha Dragons have of becoming champions now at the New Day? And well, obviously the New Day have been champs for a while, but that since Sin Cara got injured, it's basically helped. It's helped a lot. But all I can say for Sunday is if Kalisto doesn't win, you gotta cheat him out of that championship so he can get another. So he can get into a battle royal, get the championship at Fastlane, and well, not at Fastlane. Get in the battle royal, win the battle royal, win the number one contendership, and then go to face Del Rio at WrestleMania and win a championship off Del Rio then. That's just my ultimate fantasy booking for the U.S. title. If Kalisto doesn't win it at Rumble, if Kalisto wins it at Rumble, I'm happy, I'm satisfied, I'm content. Del Rio will obviously go on a rematch, you use that at Fastlane, and then you move Kalisto on to something else at WrestleMania. Okay. Now, the IC title, Dean Ambrose. Um, I'm like okay. I've enjoyed what Ambrose and Owens have done here. Just to straight, like they've shown a brand new physical side of Kevin Owens that we have not seen on the main roster. Like you all know, like Kevin Owens is snarky, braggadocious heel who basically will tell you how it is from his perspective, and if you disagree, it's your point's null and void because he's Kevin freaking Owens, and it's the Kevin Owens show. Now, they haven't shown that aggressive dynamic to him yet. And then a couple of weeks ago, Neville beating him in like 20 seconds. Kev took the aggression out of him and beat the crap out of him and just like tore him to pieces. Because, you know, he lost the championship to Ambrose. Now, I do agree with that because it did help, you know, like people say, oh, well, I don't agree with Kevin Owens losing to Neville in 20 seconds. I do. You know why? Because it builds character progression. He got mad, and we've seen this brand new side. Kevin Owens has shown us a side of him that we haven't seen yet, which is led on to Kevin Owens attacking Dean Ambrose in the past couple weeks of Raw. Dean Ambrose attacking Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens powerbombing Dean Ambrose through the announce table. Dean Ambrose running the barricade, like literally running on the edge of the barricade and hitting a diving elbow through the announce table. Stuff like that is what I'm into. Stuff like that is what I like to see. And the aggressive side of Dean Ambrose, like, you know, him diving. What am I looking for? Dean Ambrose, like, fighting Sheamus outside the ring and just consistently throw him into the steps, throw him into the steps, throw him into the steps. And then they showed the video on WWE.com where Sheamus had to get the staples in his head. Like, that aggressive, I'm going to knock your ass out, I'm going to kill you, Dean Ambrose, is what I like. Not Dean Ambrose, he's going to come in the ring and say, hey, well, Sheamus has a stupid mohawk. Hey, maybe we should make a movie called The Mohawk and the Mohawk and the Mustard, and then Sheamus will actually make some real money in his life and actually will have a real success at something entertaining because entertaining a crowd is what he can't do. I love Dean Ambrose to death. I will support the guy to the day I die, but the thing is, that is not what made Dean Ambrose Dean Ambrose. That is not what got him here. And if he's doing stuff like that, yes, because he's Dean Ambrose, he can make it funny, but he even knows that's not who he is. And these are elements to Dean Ambrose that make people say, give the guy a heel turn, but that's a whole different discussion for a whole different day. Unless they do it at Rumble. But that basically be like every pay-per-view that you guys know that I've reviewed. I've said, oh, I wish Ambrose would have turned heel here. When it happens, it'll be glorious, but until then, I don't think it will. Well, I don't know if it'll be glorious because we say these things with WWE and then they just completely shit on them. So, I can only hope. But they'll most likely fail with it. Anyways, moving forward, we get to, with Ambrose and Owens, this has been announced will be a last man standing match. And I've got Kevin Owens going over here. Because Dean Ambrose basically says, you can never pin me. If you're going to beat me, you got to kill me. And in WWE terms, what better way of killing somebody than making sure they can't get up at the count of 10 because you literally beat them to the point where they can't get up. When they show you how tough Dean Ambrose is. Dean Ambrose is one tough son of a bitch. And that being said, he proves that in matches like, okay, I may not have been a huge fan of this match, but this shows right here. Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, I know. I'm not a fan of that. What? Money in the Bank in their ladder match for the championship. I didn't like how slow the match was personally, but that's just me. I know some other people who were disappointed by it because they thought, you know, the ideas of them in a ladder match are limited, exceed those expectations at all. So Ambrose and Rollins, Ambrose Rollins, they really. My point here with Ambrose Rollins was Seth Rollins just destroyed Dean Ambrose's knees, made sure he couldn't walk, threw ladders at the man, threw chairs at the man, made sure he couldn't get up. Ambrose was still getting up, still limping through the ring, still walking, still climbing ladders, and still diving off of things, and still hitting Seth Rollins with everything from anywhere he could. So, if that's the case, and continuity actually matters here, which I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't, um, Dean Ambrose should have no problem winning this match. Not winning this match. They should. I'm sorry. What was I saying? Good God. They should have no problem making Kevin Owens look like a beast in this match, because if you know Dean Ambrose will get up from any and everything, then Kevin Owens is gonna have to do something extremely. I use this word loosely. Crazy to beat Dean Ambrose. Now, with that being said, I see Kevin Owens winning this, and then the hopeful feud is Sami Zayn comes out in the Royal Rumble, and we see Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens at WrestleMania. Excuse me, for the Intercontinental Championship. And like I've heard people complain to me like, "Oh well, what if like Sami Zayn isn't acclimated with the main roster?" Well, you can have Sami Zayn wrestle a couple matches, have a couple promos, tell the stories that he's had with Kevin Owens, and knowing that Kevin Owens is an absolute dirtbag and the crowd hates Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn will easily build that sympathy up, and he'll easily get over. Hey, maybe even have Owens attack Zayn a couple of times, and you've got yourself a crowd behind Sami Zayn. And I even said back then, like, okay, yeah, the crowds probably may not get behind him if they build it the way we know WWE builds things, but let's put it this way, too. You're not trying to appease those crowds. You're trying to appease the crowd at WrestleMania. Like, that's the crowd that's going to ultimately care. That's the crowd that's going to ultimately be involved in the match. That's the crowd that, like, knows these guys' stories from top to bottom. So, there we go. That being said and all, Kevin Owens and Dean Ambrose, I see Kev winning this. If Ambrose wins, I have no problem with it, but my question is, does that ultimately lead us to where we think where the rumors have led us? Brock Lesnar, Kevin Owens, WrestleMania? Because last night on Raw, like this is what I'm talking about. I've told people like Brock Lesnar hasn't assumed himself face nor heel. Brock Lesnar is Brock Lesnar. That's an entity that you can't make a face. You can't. Well, you can easily make a heel, but you can't make a baby face. Like, I don't even know if you can make that man a tweener, because he doesn't like people. He doesn't like anyone. He is what so many people want CM Punk to be. Brock Lesnar is himself. And CM Punk, while he was kind of allowed to be himself, he also had to play a character who either, loved the crowd or hated the crowd. And CM Lesnar is what some of us wish Punk would have been, but that's a whole different story, like I said before. And we're going to move on here, because that's not worth the discussion. But point being, Kevin Owens, win or loss, looks like he can have a good spot going into WrestleMania. Now, the Divas title, this one personally makes me a bit happy, because Becky Lynch, I said I'm not going to say from day one, but I said since she came up, it doesn't look like her future is, I said it doesn't look like her future is very bright on the main roster, because, when you have a talent like Sasha Banks, and then you have someone like Charlotte who lives off her father's name, which I said for the longest time in Raw reviews and everything here and there, because that's exactly what she's doing. Living off her father's name and all, she, you figure there would be no room for Becky. They're obviously going to send her back to NXT, because for a couple of reasons. One, they'd figure, Vince figured, oh, she's not ready. Crowd's not reacting to her. Oh, Sasha's better than her. Charlotte's better. Why is she up here? Like, we just need her for the one story. Okay, let's send her back down now. No. Even though I will wholeheartedly admit her story in NXT was nowhere near completely finished and or told yet, and I would not be opposed to a Becky Lynch versus Asuka match, or a Becky Lynch versus Bayley match again, or something high profile like that. I don't know, but point being, or Becky Lynch versus Emma. Oh, Emma's doing the best work of her career, but I could get in a whole NXT tangent if I want. Not tangent, I can just praise NXT all day, but it's have reviews for that. But Becky Lynch, and I guess it's because Sasha Banks is injured right now to a degree as well, but still, she wouldn't even had her time yet for the championship. But Becky Lynch is currently being pushed right now against Charlotte for the title because the whole backstabbing angle. Becky Lynch beat Charlotte in the match. Ric Flair cheated Becky Lynch, and she should have won the title on SmackDown. And Becky Lynch has basically gotten her revenge, beating up Charlotte once or twice. No, not twice, but beating up Charlotte before, and she got a rematch. Well, she got a rematch, and she tricked Ric Flair into giving her that rematch. And with that being said, Becky Lynch is now facing Charlotte for the championship at Royal Rumble. Do I expect Becky Lynch to win? No, not at all. Would I be happy if Becky won? I'd be elated because for those of you who don't know, Becky Lynch is my favorite female wrestler. Like that, it's amazing, dude. I love it. Give me 1 second here. My aunt's texting me. Okay, because I live with my aunt and she's on the way back with groceries. I'd have to help her out in a little bit. But point being, okay, here's the thing. Becky Lynch, like I said, what I'd be elated if she won because she's my favorite female wrestler. And I'll even be like, I'm not gonna say, oh, I supported Becky Lynch from day one because it obviously wasn't that. Here's what happened. I never knew she wrestled in Japan. It's like, oh, she wrestled in Japan. That's why she's your favorite. No, she wrestled in Japan, youngest female champion ever in Japan, first female to be the youngest like winning a championship at 18 or 20, somewhere around there. But Becky Lynch, she 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 came into NXT with this Irish dancing jig gimmick, and it just was the cringiest of cringe. And like, no NXT, no. So they rectified that. They gave her this whole rocker girl gimmick, but it still felt a little generic and bland. So they realized they had to give her some character. And then who else but the best character in NXT today in well, not today, but one of the best female characters to work NXT. The boss, Sasha Banks, and they put them together, and they formed Team Bay, best at everything. I know Team Bay, Team Bad, and Sasha Banks, awesome creations. Um, and it helped her out a bit. She got a couple of spots thanks to working with Sasha, and proved everybody that she's worth everybody's time. And then it felt like she came off as her gimmick after that when I'd say went babyface after the whole Sasha thing was it it got better. Working with Sasha Banks made Becky Lynch so much better, and I was a fan from there. Like I was a fan from like I guess I'd say when she was with Sasha actually, and then after she split, I became a bigger fan, and I'd seen the whole NXT Takeover Rival match, the Fatal 4 Women's match on my birthday, and Becky Lynch stood out to me more and more, and I'm like, okay, this girl needs more singles time. They gave her a women's championship shot at Sasha at NXT Takeover Unstoppable. She shined in that. She may have lost, but then she gets called up, and as I just told you the story of what happened, like, no, they're pushing her right now, and it's beautiful. The only thing I actually have a legitimate concern about is what, like, I just after Sunday, because I obviously feel like Charlotte's winning, but after Charlotte wins, please continue to give Becky direction. Don't just J-Bron her out to Brie Bella, Nikki Bella, someone like Tamina, who she just beat, or Naomi. Let Becky continue to win. Please. Please. That's all I ask. But following that, um, we get let just that's all I'm asking. Let Becky get just let her get her fair shake if she's not going to win. Like keep her relevant, please. I am so sorry. Just keeps asking me questions. Okay. This is my next question that I have to pose to you guys. Um, we all know. Let's address the elephant in the room. The Royal Rumble is for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, and that championship is held by the man who just almost made me like I realized how big of a WWE fan I have been my entire life, and that man almost made me give up on the entire state of wrestling in general. Not in the entire state of wrestling, on the main roster in general, even though I probably should have done that a long time ago. But knowing who I am, I'm still a fan. But Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns. Okay, so let's dive into this. The Royal Rumble is for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, held by Roman Reigns and Vince McMahon, throwing all the obstacles up against Roman, telling him to overcome the odds. Now, it's saying that they're saying Brock Lesnar's going to be in this, and the odds-on favorite that the company's trying to swerve us to believe that Brock Lesnar will win the championship. Now, the one problem I had last night is I have a problem, but then I have I have a problem, but then I kind of that problem kind of rejects itself because Bray Wyatt ended up taking Roman Reigns out last night. He ended up taking Roman Reigns out last night, and wait, I'm sorry. Brock Lesnar ended up getting taken out by Roman Reigns with two spears, which just made me mad in and of itself because Lesnar, like normally he recovers from these things and gets right up. He didn't get any kind of offense on Reigns. Reigns just dominated him for one. Two, Bray Wyatt is literally beating the crap out of. Well, this isn't a problem. Bray Wyatt, after that, attacked Roman Reigns, and the entire family took out Roman Reigns, and then they all took out Brock Lesnar. Now, I have no problem with Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt family because it seems like Bray couldn't do it on his own, and that's believable. It takes four men and gigantic Braun Strowman being one of them to take out Brock Lesnar. Okay, fine. I'm down with that. Cool. Now, with that being said, um, let's address the elephant in the room. Like I said, it feels like the Royal Rumble is being made all about Roman Reigns, and like, oh Roman, you have to do this. Roman, do this. Like, Ashton from Eon Niffle, the YouTube channel, and the whole Wow This Week in the World of Wrestling. If I haven't promoted them enough, and you guys don't know who they are yet, go check them out. He even said like, oh, it might have been John from their review last night because they both work together. And it may have been John who even said Mark Henry is in his final Royal Rumble. That's a storyline to tell. So Mark Henry could be more desperate than ever to have one last run with the World Championship. Something along those lines, but no. The story is Roman Reigns, Roman Reigns, Roman Reigns. It feels like it's not like okay. We all know. We've heard the rumors that Triple H is going to be winning the Rumble, so he can win the championship, and Roman Reigns can win it back at WrestleMania. But 98% of this has been Roman Reigns. 2% has been Brock Lesnar. That's literally what it's been. And I've been down with that. Like people say, oh, the Rumble's going to be good this year. Look, I'm down with a good Rumble. Okay, like the Rumble's one of the most exciting things out of the entire year to watch. But I'm not down with Roman Reigns being the man to do it. Like, not Roman Reigns. I'm down with Triple H, but I'm not down with the concept of this is just at least a Triple H being transitional and Roman Reigns being champion. Again, no thank you. But you know what? I don't want to end on a sour note, so I'm going to say I am looking forward to the show. Oh, yeah, wait. And we got the New Day and the Usos. Not really much to talk about there. The Usos keep getting championship shots for who knows why. So I'm just going to say I go New Day. That's all I got to say there. But you know what? I think I've dragged this out a while enough now. So I want to thank you guys for watching this. Remember to leave a like on this video if you already haven't liked it already. Subscribe if you're not subscribed for more of that WWE goodness on my channel. Follow me on Twitter at FightMastonFight. And I will see you guys later. My name is Gordon Maston. That has been wrestling, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you very much for watching. I can figure out how to end this. All right, there we go. And see ya.